Christmas was always a time of joy for Kevin, his wife, and their children. Every year they traveled to his wife's family home, nestled in the outskirts of a town 100 miles away. This year, however, an ominous chill hung in the air as they embarked on their journey through the forest-laden road. Snow fell relentlessly, covering the ground in a thick, icy blanket. The road was treacherous, pitch black, and eerily deserted. Kevin drove cautiously, his hands gripping the steering wheel tightly as the car's tires skidded slightly on the icy surface. Inside the car, the Christmas music playing on the radio did little to calm his wife's nerves or ease their daughter's fear. The absence of any other vehicles on the road was unsettling, and the isolation of the forest amplified every creak and groan of their car. Suddenly, Kevin's phone buzzed, breaking the tense silence. It was his wife's grandfather, worried about their delay. "It's already past 11. "Are you all right?" he asked. "We'll be there in an hour," Kevin assured him, though the uncertainty in his voice betrayed his own unease. His wife's anxiety deepened as she recalled the area's dark history, rumors of disappearances and strange occurrences in the forest. As they drove further into the night, the music on the radio abruptly stopped, replaced by a high-pitched static. Kevin's heart sank as the car shuddered and came to a halt. He tried the ignition repeatedly, but the car refused to start. His wife and children sat frozen in silence, their breathing shallow and rapid. "Don't worry," Kevin said, forcing a smile. "I'll check the car." Pulling out his phone for light, he stepped into the biting cold. The forest around him seemed alive, shadows dancing in the dim glow of his flashlight. Suddenly, a car engine roared to life a few meters ahead. Kevin turned to see a vehicle that hadn't been there before. The headlights blazed, illuminating the icy road. Maybe they can help, Kevin thought, and began cautiously walking toward the mysterious car. Inside their car, Kevin's wife held her children close, her unease growing. As she watched her husband approach the vehicle, the radio crackled back to life, broadcasting an emergency alert. The voice on the radio spoke of 4 missing children from the very area they were stranded in. Her blood ran cold as she realized the gravity of their situation. Her attention snapped back to the mysterious car as its door creaked open. A figure in a Santa costume emerged, holding 2 dolls eerily similar to the ones her children had received earlier that evening from a man dressed as Santa at a shop. But something was wrong. This Santa's costume was dark, almost blood red, and his smile was a grotesque mockery of the cheerful man they had met before. Kevin, unaware of the alert, began talking to the man. Santa gestured toward Kevin's car and offered assistance. As Kevin returned to retrieve a tow rope, the sinister figure followed, his steps deliberate and heavy. Kevin's wife's instincts screamed at her to act, but fear rooted her in place. As Santa drew closer to the car, she noticed the dolls he carried were not the same. One was missing eyes, the other legs. "Special dolls," the man whispered, his voice low and menacing. "I've been perfecting them." Her children, innocent to the danger, asked, "Can we see the special dolls?" Santa's grin widened as he knelt to their window. "Of course," he said. "They're almost like real children." Suddenly, a hammer glinted in Santa's hand. Kevin turned just in time to see it swinging toward him. He collapsed onto the icy road, blood pooling beneath him. His wife screamed and scrambled out of the car, but Santa was too quick. He struck her down, her world spinning into darkness. As Santa turned to the children, coaxing them out of the car, headlights appeared in the distance. The approaching vehicle's beam revealed it to be a police car. Santa hurriedly dragged the children toward his car, but the officers, sensing something amiss, drew their weapons. "Stop!" they commanded. Santa ignored them, climbing into his car and attempting to flee. A gunshot rang out, and the sinister figure slumped over the wheel. The officers found Kevin and his wife barely alive but unconscious. In the back of Santa's car, they discovered the missing children, terrified but unharmed. The horrifying truth was revealed when they searched further. A collection of grotesque dolls stitched together with pieces of flesh and soaked in blood. Kevin and his family survived, but the scars of that night would remain forever. The police unraveled the macabre story of a deranged man who had used his Santa guise to prey on the innocent. As for the dolls, their origins remained a chilling mystery. Christmas would never be the same for Kevin and his family. It was no longer a time of joy, but a haunting reminder of the night they narrowly escaped the clutches of a monster.